I'm standing on the 800 block of Linwood Avenue, where it all started.
The average criminal demographic worldwide is 16 to 19 years old. According to the United Nations Office on Guns and Crime, UNODC, this means there is little likelihood for a decline in crime rates in the world anytime soon. Although concrete numbers are scarce, Mogadishu City in Somalia is believed to be the most dangerous city in the world and to date remains the most lawless and unsafe. Major cities in America recorded a rate of between 10 to 11 per 100,000 people. Compared to a city in America, Kenyan immigrant David Bugwa would have had a better chance to survive on the streets of Nairobi instead of migrating to Baltimore, where he met his untimely death. This is because Nairobi, Kenya, where he comes from, records a rate of 6 cases of murder per 100,000 people, while in Baltimore, where he migrated to, it's 37.9 per 100,000 people. These statistics struck very close to home when early Sunday morning, David Bugwa, aka DJ Dowdy, on his way home from work, was stabbed to death by unknown assailants at the intersection of Charles and Baltimore Street. Bugwa worked 6 days a week on the night shift at the Lock Insulators in South Baltimore as an assembly worker, and also as a DJ at a local Kenyan club under the name DJ Dowdy. On that fateful day, he got off work at 11 p.m. as was his routine and took the bus to downtown Baltimore. He was to transfer to the number 5 bus, but this was not meant to be. David was stabbed by unknown assailants and stumbled on the steps of the number 5 bus, which takes him home every night to his fiancée and 1-year-old son, David Jr., or DJ, as he is affectionately known as. His fiancée, Jessica Swanson, says that he was trying to get on the bus despite his injuries so that he could get home to his son, as he did every night.
He was stabbed coming home from work. He used to get off at 11:45, 11:50, but the buses run kind of crazy. He always goes downtown to Charles and Baltimore Street. That's where he catches the 5 to 40, either one that gets him home. And somebody robbed him and left him stabbed to death on the streets.
David collapsed on the steps of the number 5 bus due to his injuries and unfortunately died 2 hours later in the hospital. Ellen Wansing shares her years of work tracking Baltimore homicides and says that in all murders, stabbings have a higher rate of being solved because of the personal nature of the crime.
Only 52% of homicides are closed, and the homicides that are closed are primarily domestic violence caused homicides, and stabbings tend to be closed, and homicides that occur in a house. Homicides that occur in the street with a gun are far less likely to be closed.
She says that her research shows that it is usually a friend or family member known to the victim who commits the crime. This leads to this type of cases being more commonly solved than either gunshots or other types of homicide.
Homicides get closed under certain circumstances because it's much easier to find somebody within a home that killed somebody else. It's much easier to find a perpetrator of the alleged perpetrator of a stabbing than somebody who has shot somebody at 30 or 40 feet away with a gun. People with guns tend to shoot and run away, where people who perform stabbings get much closer to the victim. They may be injured themselves. They're covered with blood. It's pretty obvious who did it.
Friends and family are hoping that this statistic will help them find closure to David's murder. The Baltimore Police Department is investigating the incident and is doing all that it can to get to the bottom of the murder. Police are asking anyone with information to call detectives at 410-396-2100.
Which is every night. I don't care what he does, he comes home to this. If not to me, he comes home to this one. He loves his child, and his baby loves him. And he looks around, everybody looking, you know, and I know he looking for his dad. Some of y'all favor his dad, and he don't know no better.
If you have any information on the crime, please call, text, or email Metro Crime Stoppers Hotline 24 hours a day, toll free, 1-8667-LOCK-UP. They have offered a reward for $2,000 for anybody with information leading to the arrest of the suspects.
I'm standing here on Charles and Baltimore Street where the incident happened of the stabbing of David Mbugwa, and he just made it up to the steps of the number 5 bus right there, and he collapsed where they call the paramedics. This is George Ichobi reporting for MSG Media in Baltimore City.